Call this Village of Greenhills Council meeting to order for February 23rd, 2021. Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Halton?
Here.
Ms. Hermes?
Here.
Mr. Lee?
Here.
Ms. Metz?
Here.
Ms. Osmanovic? Here. Ms. Walter?
Here.
And Mayor Moore.
Here. Okay, we have a prayer by Maria Walter.
Loving Heavenly Father, we come to you this hour asking for your blessing and help as we are gathered here together. We pray for guidance in the matters at hand and ask that you would clearly show us how to conduct our work with a spirit of joy and enthusiasm. Give us the desire to find ways to excel in our work, help us to work together and encourage each other to excellence. We ask that we would challenge each other to each higher and further to be the best that we can be. We ask this in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have the minutes, council meeting minutes of January the 26th, 2021, and the council work session of February 9th, 2021. Anybody have any corrections or comments?
Now I move to adopt it.
Okay, the minutes are so approved. Okay, we have oath of office to Greenhills Police Officer Carl W. Holbrook.
Take some pictures.
Oh, I think Tony's getting some. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, there he is. It's so hard to
I'm good.
And then repeat after me.
I, Carl W. Holbrook,
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution
and the laws of the United States,
and the laws of the United States,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Ohio,
and the Charter and ordinances of the Village of Greenhills,
and the Charter and ordinances of the Village of Greenhills,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
discharge the duties of office of police officer
discharge the duties of office of police officer
to which I have been appointed, so help me God.
to which I have been appointed, so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll please present you with your oath of office, which officially makes you a member of the Greenhills Police Department. The council, I would say that there's a lot of departments that are hiring right now. I can't tell you how fortunate we are to have a new officer of Carl's character, so let him say a few words to you.
I just want to thank you all very much for the opportunity. I've only been here for a short few days, but I'm already starting to fall in love with the community a little bit. It's pretty easy to do here. This is my wife and my parents here that came to support me. I plan on sticking around, so hopefully you all have me and don't want to get rid of me anytime soon. So I just want to say thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I should get that right.
I was going to say, you're stuck with us as long as you'll keep us. You can't tell, but we're all smiling with you.
Okay, this is the time for residents to comment on matters before council. When recognized, please come forward to the lectern, give your name and address, and then state your comments or questions. This is not intended to be a dialogue with council or village staff. If you have questions, the questions will be recorded and referred to the manager's office for response. This will allow time for thoughtful and thorough consideration to be given to each question. Council meetings are recorded for ease of transmission. Transcription, comments are limited to 3 minutes. Speakers may not yield to any or all their time to other speakers.
I'm sorry.
And we're not accepting phone calls. Does our guest have any comments? No. Okay. Moving on, reports of village officials. Municipal Manager Yvonne Kovac.
Thank you, Mayor. I have just a couple of things I want to mention. I know we've all been waiting for our new traffic signals. They have arrived. They were to have been installed by now, but the weather changed. So the work was rescheduled. We do hope to have those up and functioning by the end of March. We're giving ourselves a nice long time. But anyway, they are here. They just need to be installed. So that'll be great to see. Also want to mention just events for 2021. Again, we are still, as of today, anticipating procedures similar to last year. But we are going to have the Easter egg hunt. We just learned that from the fire chief. We will also, Jim Miller's working on concerts, although he may be doing like 2 a month. That schedule's yet to be worked out, but now that we have 1 year of COVID under our belt, we know a little bit more about what it is we need to do to prepare. Might have to purchase a few more things, but we're going to try to make it happen because everybody wants to get out and start living life again, I'm sure. And that's all I have right now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Maria, was that a car warranty expiration?
It's a new phone, and it's a new phone, and I don't know how to, how to silence it. I'm pushing every button in here.
Okay, not a problem. Law Director Jeff Forbes.
Thank you, Mayor. My written report is in your packet, just the highlights, no pending legal matters right now. And I just gave a little summary of Senate Bill 22. Passed in the Senate, it's been introduced in the House, and we'll wait to see what becomes of that. But it's related to health orders.
Yeah, okay. Any comments or questions of Law Director? All right, moving on, Clerk of Council, Tanya Kohler. Chief of Police, Neil Fertelman.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I think you just observed what has been the highlight of our week, the starting of a very positive first-rate new officer, so we're very happy to have Carl Holbrook on board, and we welcome him and hope he does have a very long career here with us. Another moment of pride was an email that we received from one of our veteran officers, David Bacon, who just passed along his diploma, and the closer I looked at it, I noticed that it had 3 words that I vaguely recalled, summa cum laude. And I couldn't recall. I know that there's a certain order, so I had to look it up, and I was very pleasantly surprised to see that that was the highest honor that professor that UC offers that he received. So one of the things I'd like to point out is that David is not only a full-time officer here, he typically works the night shift, but he additionally has pursued his college studies. He takes any training opportunity that is provided to him, and he's also a husband and a father, and has actually a second child on the way. So he's a very busy man, and we thought that this was worthy of comment, that he is bettering himself and he is continuing with his schooling. So we're very proud of that. In January, we received state certification granted from the Ohio Collaborative for Safe Policing. We were certified for safe policing for safe communities. We're one of the first in the area to receive that certification. It's the 6th that we've received from the state of Ohio. We try and stay ahead of those. I think that it holds us accountable and provides a greater confidence for our citizens that we have this certification. And probably on a much bigger note, we are one of the few of less than 5% of law enforcement agencies that have achieved CALIA accreditation from the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies. This was something that prior councils initiated back in 2007, and we have continued that certification consistently since then. This was a very different on-site because it really wasn't on-site, it was virtual. So we had to set up a number of Zoom interviews. I know the mayor, the municipal manager, and I believe, Jack, you might have participated in that. And if I left anybody else out, I know that our council was very supportive, and we appreciate your letters and your thoughts to the assessors. One of the things that I thought was noteworthy, I sent you a copy of their very voluminous report, but what they wrote, I hope reflects well upon us. It says the Greenhills Police Department is a professional, well-managed law enforcement agency that is committed to providing the highest quality service to the citizens of the village of Green Hills. The police department has a strong community involvement program that has built trust and transparency in the community, which has provided legitimacy to the police department in the eyes of the community that they protect and serve. The men and women of the Green Hills Police Department do not only understand the concepts of accreditation, the process has been institutionalized within the agency. My thanks to you and to our manager, because if it wasn't for your commitment to this process, we wouldn't be able to enjoy its benefits. So thank you for holding us to a higher standard, and we hope that the commissioners in their March 25th virtual meeting will see it the same way, and we'll keep you posted on that. On a light note, the Good News Department on December 16th, one of our officers participated in what has become a standard pandemic event, a drive-by birthday salute by both us and the Green Hills Fire Department. Our officer reported as follows: birthday drive-by with Squad 48 and Engine 48 for a 4-year-old little girl. Gave her a card, stuffed animals, and a coloring book. She immediately started playing with the stuffed animals in the snow. So that was a highlight for us. In terms of our crime statistics for the latest month, we made 4 criminal arrests, including arrests for criminal damaging, endangering, curfew, and domestic violence. We responded to 162 incidents, including 20 squad runs, 15 domestics, 12 suspicious persons, 9 parking complaints, 8 neighbor trouble runs, 5 trouble runs, 4 alarms, and 4 animal complaints. We provided mutual aid in 15 instances. We issued 61 traffic citations, 23 warnings, and investigated 2 traffic crashes. Thank you, Mayor.
Any comments, questions of the chief? Anyone? I have Mayor's Court money report. Checks will be issued to the state of Ohio for $1,258, Hamilton County $48, and the village of Green Hills $5,205. And that's all I have. Right, committee reports, community development, Jeff Halter.
Yes, only thing I have to report with, is that looking forward to setting up a spring cleanup in the village. We'll talk about a time to do that. I'm sure we can socially distance and pick up around here after the snow melts and spring comes a little farther along. And then our next community development meeting is on March 9th from 1 to 2. And that concludes my report.
Okay, any comments or questions? All right, recreation, cable television, Natasha Metz.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yvonne covered the events information that's coming up, so our next meeting is going to be on March 9th at 2 p.m. and we'll get more info for you. Thank you.
Okay. All right, intergovernmental affairs, laws and rules, Maria Walker.
We met today, and the first thing that we did was to revise the rules of council. We didn't find anything at this time to change or to amend. We also had 2 other things in the packet to discuss, and one was a new legislation that would be discussed in the work session, and that would be for cars parked in the street with flat tires and multiple violations. We have also we had a sample supplemental adopting ordinance, and this is an ordinance how to incorporate it in our book of ordinances in order to comply with the Ohio Revised Code. Mr. Forbes, so that kind of sums it up?
Yeah, it basically takes all of the ordinances that you've adopted throughout the year and adds them to your code book.
And this also will be discussed on the work session and will be passed then at the next council meeting, and it will come to effect, both things probably in April. And that concludes my report. I also wanted to please, Ms. Kovac, if you can convey our deepest thanks to the service department and Mike and all the work they have done on the roads during this awful winter that we had. And I had about 10 or 15 people that I have come in contact with, whatever I was outside or anything like that, saying, oh my gosh, this has been incredible work. And when it was not just the salt, it was the scraping of it, and everybody was able to get out of their house and to the jobs on timely manner. And that was absolutely an incredible tour de force to do in this winter.
Thank you.
So please thank us, from all of us citizens of Greenhills. Thank you very much.
Service and Streets, Jennifer Osmonoglu.
Thank you. I'd also like to second the thank you to the Streets and Services Department because they really did a great job. We have a Streets and Services Committee meeting on Tuesday, March 2nd at 1:30. And that concludes my report.
Okay. All right, Safety, Melanie Hermes.
Thank you. The Safety Committee did meet today. We do not have any agenda items for the full council, but I'll give you a quick sum up because you've heard most of it. We did talk about emergency snow and parking, and we're talking about possibly putting something, some kind of procedure or process in place for next snow season. So we do have plenty of time, but it's something we were discussing. The committee, myself, Councilmember Walther, and Mayor Moore were there, and we were joined by the manager, both Chief Furterman and Chief Spaeth, and also Mike Castor, who we also wanted his input on the snow as well. We talked about the fire department has some hydrant restoration going on, and he just gave us an update on that. He gave us some feedback. The fire chief gave us some feedback on the median, at how it's some things just wanted us to be aware of on Winton Road, and that temporary occupancy has been issued for the Winton Woods South campus. Is that how they're naming it? Or do we know how it's being named? The primary K through 6th grade building they've been issued temporary occupancy. So he says they've been great to work with. So that's high praise from our fire chief. And as the manager mentioned, the Easter egg hunt will be on Sunday, April 4th, which is Easter Sunday at 2 p.m. We did get some updates from the police. He shared, police chief, and he shared them with us here. And then that is it. We are meeting again. We will meet before the Tuesday, April 27th meeting, but we won't ever have anything at our meeting that would go on the agenda that evening. It's just for ease of people who have to stay late. So that is all I have.
Great. Okay, Finance and Audit, Jack Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Council, at your places tonight is the January recap that was submitted by the finance director. You'll notice several areas. One is the reduction in income tax year to year for January. That's really representative of the wind down of construction at the school. We'll probably see that for a while till the new school becomes occupied with teachers, and then that I'm anticipating that to go up. Second was just a matter of timing. The real estate advance came in on February 1st, so that has to go in February's column rather than January. And since both of those represent a little more of a negative, the overall revenues for general fund for year to date show a downward trend, but that should bounce back up next month. expenditures of appropriations are in good shape. Staff continues to save money, as you can see, and most importantly, the major transfers have already been made to the police pool and non-voted debt funds, so those are covered for the year. And that's the end of my report, unless there are any questions.
Doesn't look like it. All right, unfinished business. We have resolution number 2021-R02-F, which was tabled.
Mr. Mayor, I rise to move to take from the table the resolution 2021-02-F on the resolution authorizing increases for the salaried employees.
Second that.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
What this is this will be replaced by another resolution 2021-6F. So the intent is for the vote in the negative to catch.
Okay. Is anybody in favor?
What was the motion again? I thought you were just taking it off the table.
Right. That motion was just to bring it off the table for consideration. So you would
Pass that one.
want to
Aye.
vote yes, so that it's now in front of council
Okay.
for consideration.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Do I need to poll them?
No, that was
Okay.
sufficient. Now it's been removed from the table. It's here for consideration. And what you would typically do is, we already had a motion to it. Was there a motion to adopt?
Yes.
Yes.
And then it was tabled. So at this point, the motion to adopt is back on the floor.
Okay.
Which we don't.
And,
Correct.
right. And we had a second to that, so clerk call the roll on this one. And we're
Yes,
looking for a no vote.
That's correct.
Okay.
Mrs. Montague?
Aye.
No.
No.
No! No! Retract my aye, please put in a yes. No!
Happy Tuesday.
Sorry.
Ms. Walter?
No.
Mr. Halter?
No.
Mr. Lee?
No.
Ms. Metz?
Nay.
And Ms. Ernst?
Nay.
All right, the motion does not pass. Moving on to new business. Resolution number 2021-04-SNS, resolution authorizing assessment on certain properties in the village of Greenhills. Ms. Osmonaglu.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution number 2021-04-SNS, resolution authorizing assessments on certain properties in the village of Greenhills. Whereas the village has given proper notice to the owners of certain real property in the village of Greenhills regarding the removal of vegetation, refuse, garbage, and/or debris from the properties listed below. And whereas the owners of said properties did not take action to remedy the violations, and therefore the village of Greenhills contracted to remove vegetation, refuse, garbage, and/or debris, and now seeks to collect said expenses by authorizing the placement of a lien upon the lands and collect it as other taxes. Therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Greenhills, Ohio, Section 1, that the Village Council hereby certifies that the cost of such labor, together with the expenses relative thereto, be filed on the return and statement to the Hamilton County Commissioners as an assessment against the properties listed and placed as a lien against the properties by the Auditor of Hamilton County, Ohio as follows. Parcel number 597-0070-0225-00, address 12 Chalmers Court, owner Frank Kaito. The cost is $155.02. Parcel number 597-0050-0060-00. The address is 817 Caridi Lane. The owners are Robert and Alexandria Byers, and the cost is $174.59. Parcel number 597-0030-0206-00. The address is 22 Falcon Lane, and the owner is ZC Homes LLC. The cost is $134.42. The total cost is $464.03. That's assessed to all three of those properties. Section 2, all amounts collected as a result of this resolution shall be placed into the general fund of the Village of Greenhills. Section 3, this resolution shall be effective immediately upon its passage. Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt this resolution.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adopt the resolution. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Mr. Lee?
Aye.
Ms. Hermes?
Aye.
Ms. Metz?
Aye.
Ms. Walter?
Aye.
Ms. Osmanaglu?
Aye.
Mr. Halter?
Aye.
Okay, resolution number 2021-04-S&S passes. Next resolution is number 2021-05-F, resolution making supplemental appropriations and transfers. Mr. Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution 2021-05F, resolution making supplemental appropriations and transfers. Whereas in the 2021 annual appropriations were adopted on December 8th, 2020, are to be amended. And whereas appropriations must not exceed the total available resources of the village per Ohio Revised Code Section 5705.36A5. Therefore, an amended certificate of estimated resources has been requested by the County Budget Commission. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of Village Greenhills, Ohio, Section 1. Since certain actions are needed in the monies appropriated so to permit the Village of Greenhills to meet its fiscal obligations for the year 2021, the following items of expenditures are to be supplement to the appropriations for expenditures for the year 2021. Fund description: Coronavirus Relief Fund, account number 2151, appropriation $18.28. Change is $81.72, total $100. Section 2, that the following transfers of funds be made from previously appropriated monies, none. Section 3, that the resolution shall take effect and be in full force from and after the earliest date allowed by law. Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of this resolution.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Ms. Osmanaglu?
Aye.
Ms. Walter?
Aye.
Mr. Halter?
Aye.
Mr. Lee?
Aye.
Ms. Metz?
Aye.
Ms. Hermes?
Aye.
Okay, resolution number 2021-05-F passes. Next one, resolution number 2021-06-F, resolution authorizing increases for salaried employees. Mr. Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution 2021-06F, resolution authorizing increases for salaried employees. Be it resolved by the Council of Village of Greenhills, State of Ohio, that Section 1, salaried personnel shall receive an increase in compensation effective retroactive to the first pay period of 2021 fiscal year as follows. Finance Director, 3%. Police Chief, 3%. Municipal Manager, 3%. Section 2, that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon its adoption. Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of this resolution.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments or questions?
I just want to thank Jack and everybody. I think this went really well. It might not seem like it. I want to commend our finance director, our chief of police, and municipal manager on a job well done in a very, very difficult year. And really satisfied with their performance and look forward to really great things for the village. Also grateful that this is something we'll review on an annual basis based on the financial health of the village and on how things are going overall. So thanks for everyone involved.
Okay, clerk call the roll.
Ms. Hermes?
Aye.
Ms. Metz?
Aye.
Walter?
Aye.
Mrs. Monigu?
Aye.
Mr. Halter?
Aye.
And Mr. Lee?
Aye.
Yes, no, I forgot. Resolution number 2021-06-F passes. Next thing on the agenda is the municipal calendar. And want to repeat your,
Sure, March 9th, 1 to 2 o'clock is community development. That's a Monday, I believe.
It's a Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday, March 2nd, 1:30, streets and services.
Easter Sunday, April 4th, Easter egg hunt on the Commons, 2 PM. And then the safety committee isn't meeting until Tuesday, April 27th at 5:30.
Laws and rules, April 27 at 6.
Is that it? Nothing else? Meeting adjourned.